nice skin, so gorgeous. We thank the life gorgeous. Thank the life gorgeous. I love the life gorgeous. Its torso is so tight.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Life Gorgeous. My name is Craig Kilborn. Some say Lord Kilby. I answer to both. This is where I share my magical life in hopes of improving your life. It is the Life Gorgeous. And today, one of my old friends, he's a repeat visitor, the executive producer of Family Guy. He co-wrote the movie Ted. He was on the old show, The Late Late Show with me. Put your hands together for Alec Sulkin. Here he is. There he is. Hey, Alec.
Oh, hey, how are you? I love the exhale. You know how much I love the exhale. We needed a take two. Oh, do I love that?
Alec Sulkin. What should your intro be? What's your title? EP, Family Guy, head writer, Family Guy.
You can, in the attempt to appear humble, you can always just say Family Guy writer. Like, I think we just like to be identified.
Why did you tell me 3 times earlier today to say EP?
I just wanted to have this Rickles type conversation with you.
Okay. Now, the reason I wanted to record today, it's somewhat of an evergreen show, but maybe not. But I wanted to record the Monday after we went to the Laker game Friday.
Yeah, that was awesome. And thank you, by the way. Thank you.
So I have a friend. His name is John Middleton. He's a family, and John, they own the Phillies, the Philadelphia Phillies, and he has courtside seats at the Lakers. And he lets me go to the Timberwolves games because he's an old friend. And they visited once this year. But a few years ago, I was going to take you, and COVID hit. And then the game was canceled. So I did it. So what I wanted to ask you, first of all, why were you so excited? Because you've done a lot. You've met Tom Brady. You put Tom Brady, your hero, in Ted.
Yeah.
But you've never sat courtside or just courtside at a Laker game. Which one?
Well, I've never sat courtside. And let me say that has distinct parameters for me, because people have given me quote unquote courtside tickets before that were just in the like down area, like 4-row zone that's near the court, but that's not. You want your feet on the court. You want the sweat to hit you. If you spill a drink, it goes right on the court. I want a diving Latrell Sprewell in my lap.
Okay, can you give an updated reference for the young people who don't know that retired player?
I want a diving Ant-Man in my lap.
Anthony Edwards.
Slow-mo. But so anyway. So I had sat courtside once before, but the seats were under the basket. So in my mind, courtside is on the side of the court on the court, which is
not in line. It's not in line under the basket.
Exactly. So you were gracious enough to provide us with those seats that I will point out, as you did instantly, that they were better than Denzel Washington's.
And A-Rod's.
And E-Rod's. And they... Oh, I'm sorry. What did you say? He made a lot of big errors.
I know what your joke is. He's my buddy. He's the co-owner of the Wolves.
He is.
Oh, we should point out that Alec Sulkin is a Boston Red Sox fan.
Right. So I just remember him, classlessly chopping the ball out of that guy's hands in the 2004. But he's a changed man now. Apparently, he's moved on from that. These seats were great. We were sandwiched in between that Peter Horton lookalike guy. I can't make a more current reference because that's who he looked like.
Right.
So I had kind of a middle seat vibe because I was between you. I'm not going to jostle you. And then I had sort of an overgrown teen on the other side.
Oh, yeah. You guys were chatting it up.
Well, everybody seemed to hear every little joke that we made. I don't know if you noticed that. They were loving us. We were killing.
And I'm pleased because I had gone to a Clipper game with you when you had season tickets, and they were, I don't know if they were 16 or 20 rows up, but they were fine. But I saw, what's that?
Yeah, that's, it's like where the commissioner would sit in that area. Right.
And it was a different side that I hadn't seen of you, where you were just venting. This was your outlet, and you were yelling at the refs.
Yeah.
And when there was a bad call, you would yell, Donahue, Donahue.
Yep.
And you want to explain what that means to the young people?
So we'd yell Donahue, which I would do a lot at those games because everybody knows that, NBA officiating, as Bob Cousy would say, is crooked. And so I just think that it's been, exposed for years that they're controlling the games, and you can watch them do it by ticky-tack fouls in the first and second quarter that put star players on the bench in third and fourth. So I would scream out Donaghy at games, and I would get like the savvy fans in my vicinity would give me a look like, yeah, man, he knows what he's talking about.
Tim Donaghy, the rogue ref who gambled and made some awful calls to alter games, and there's the whole Sacramento Kings thing going on and with the Lakers. So you yell that out. It's provocative, but you're provocative.
I used to be. And also nobody gets the Donaghy reference anymore. I tried it earlier this season.
You were kind of mellow, I thought, at the game.
Yeah. Well, we had a couple of drinks, and also I wanted the Timberwolves to win this game, and we'll get to that in a moment because I root against the Lakers because I'm from Boston. Right. But I just didn't have quite the dog in the fight that would make me like get up and scream at a ref. And also I thought the officiating was pretty good in that game.
Yep.
Yeah.
So through your eyes, the young writer's eyes, and I'm using young for 50 because I just love saying it.
Yeah.
What did you think of the seats?
Well, they were awesome. I thought, as I mentioned a minute ago, a little crowded. I couldn't quite get the comfortable pose, but so your arms are in, but that's okay. Right on the floor, the players could hear us talking. There was a Wolves player who heard you in the middle of the game and responded to you. It was really cool.
Naz Reid. It was Naz Reid.
Yeah. As you pointed out, and I'm only pointing this out because you did, I think we both hoped they'd be a little closer to center court than they were.
Yeah, I always think they're a little under the free throw line, but they're closer to, I felt a little too close to Denzel.
Yeah, and we got to get away from that riffraff.
No, but when I first sat in a courtside seat, which was years and years ago, I'm like, stay out of my space, man. So my whole thing was, what if a loose ball comes at me? What am I going to do?
Yeah.
And you can either cower and put your, cover your head and your body, or you can jump out of the way. Did you even worry about that or not?
I have to say I wasn't. It's interesting. I don't know if you felt this. There was something about the pace of, I don't know if it was in particular that game, or maybe it's just the NBA now. You get the sense people aren't really jumping 2 rows back anymore these days. You just don't see the birds. And
you're saying, I think you're going to say, it's the regular season, Craig. They're not really putting forth an effort.
It was a LeBron-less game, and a team that is clearly in trouble with the Lakers. And it just felt like, you could see players greeting each other on both sides. It didn't have that, like, I want to kill you vibe that maybe the Dallas Phoenix game had the other night. So it wasn't like that.
So I'm going to dive into a few details.
You skipped dinner first.
No, I have that written down. We're going to go there. Before we do that, I wanted to, because I have different thoughts that come to me.
Yeah.
How was my overall behavior? Did I irritate you at any moment?
No,
I didn't.
Never.
Because I'm really fun to be with, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's what I'm really fun.
You were.
Okay, now. Details.
Yeah.
I told you about this a few weeks ago that I checked with you on Wednesday, because sometimes you're not in town. Sometimes you're on the East Coast.
Right.
Executive producing from the East Coast.
Yep.
Right. And I said, are you still on? Are you still in town? Because I got a string of guys that said, if Sulkin's not in town, let's go.
Yeah.
So, and you said, very nice, let's have dinner first. The game started at 7:30. Let's go to Lowry's Prime Rib, which is really top of the line. Of the line. And it has Yorkshire pudding. It's prime rib. It's on La Cienega. And my thing was, I don't want to go west when I'm going to go east downtown.
Right.
And I don't even want prime rib. I don't want red meat right now. So my ritual is, I go down there, I valet or I Uber down, and I go to the Palm. They have a Palm downtown, and I go there, have a Dow Cabernet, sometimes sit at the bar. Took my brother, took another friend of mine.
Yep.
And the problem was, I get there, and I'm thinking, you're going to be late. You're right on time, 6:00. And I said, why'd you want to go to Lowry's? And you mistakenly thought isn't there one downtown? And no, it's Fleming's.
Yeah,
Fleming's Steakhouse.
I botched that.
What
That
if
was
I would have
steak
just
part.
said, what if I would have said, yeah, let's go to Lowry's. So I'm over there in La Cienega, and then you're down at Fleming's. What happens then? I lose a half hour.
I can tell you what happens then, and you know the answer. It's one of your favorite words.
Debacle?
Yes.
I mean, no, but it would have been, in my opinion, I would have rushed down. I said, just stay at Fleming's. Stay at Fleming's. Don't move.
Order me.
I would have rushed down there and gotten there at 6:30. And then I guess we'd squeeze in something. We could have gone to the VIP lounge instead and eaten their cookies, which somebody did later, which we're going to get to.
Third quarter cookie.
So that was a thing. Okay. So I get to the Palm. It is kind of fun. We sit down and we order, and I was going to have salmon.
Oh, but you skipped over the first detail. You don't want to talk about it?
Oh, the beeline to the men's room?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. You tell that.
Grant Tinkle over there. So I got there a couple minutes ahead of you.
It was very nice. I was really pleased that you did that.
Yes. Well, I feel like that's as it should be. And so I'm waiting, and I'm kind of clocking people coming in the door. And you have two things working against you at this point. One, you're famous. And two, you're 6'5". So I'm looking over at the door, and I see, the way I would describe it would be like the trot back down court after a made three.
Okay.
So that's about the level you were running into the restaurant and right to the bathroom. So instantly I was texting you, oh, the Tinkle boy, beeline to take a tinkle. And you came back and you said that word was a trigger for you. Tinkle.
I use the men's. I always say, excuse me, I'm going to powder my nose. I love using that line.
Yeah.
And the word Tinkle.
You can't even say it.
Is one of those words like, is it spelled B? Wait, how do you spell Booger? I don't like that word either. I can't stand that word.
Right. Yeah, I get that.
So there are words that I don't like, and I didn't like that word. But it's funny. I mean, you're trying to be irritating, and it worked.
Yeah.
But my logic was, there's no way he's here, because I had some trouble getting down there. But you had a system going far right lane on Olympic.
Far right lane.
I was doing a labyrinth with Waze, and it was weird. But I got there and I said, he's not going to be there. I mean, I think I'm going to get my table because I want to sit there. I love to sit there sometimes by myself before company comes and just have wine and just dream.
Yeah.
I'm a dreamer. You know I'm a dreamer.
I do.
Yeah.
You're not the only one. But yeah, no, so you came out of there and sat down, and you were very adamant that you were going to have the fish.
Yeah, I wanted salmon. I don't know if you know, but I've been getting some Omaha steaks from my friends at Omaha Steak. I really balance how much red meat I have. Right. And of course, you, peer pressure Sulkin.
Yeah, meat pressure.
You were getting a steak. Yep. Would you get a filet, or what did you get?
Yeah, I got like the petite filet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I got some lamb. What did I get? Lamb chops?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like lamb. Lamb chops were good. You quickly ordered a garlic mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
Even though I would have gotten a gratin because I'm a cheese freak.
That's right.
And then you let me order the cream spinach with nutmeg.
Delicious. Oh.
I had a chopped salad, and you had prosciutto for your appetizer.
That's right. Oh yeah, I was having a great. To be fair, there was a little candied pear in there, so I was getting my vegetables.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's so funny. I years ago, I'm doing a tangent here. I used to, on the Late Late Show, I had a desk chat, and I would say to the audience, I'm going to call up some people, and I have 3 questions. And one of the questions was, when I say steakhouse appetizer, what do you say? And like, what would you say if I said steakhouse appetizer? What would you say, Alec?
I'd say maybe, chopped salad, something like that.
I say shrimp cocktail. So I was looking for shrimp cocktail.
Sure. Okay.
I used to have it a lot. They have a horseradish in the cocktail sauce.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my old late great friend Dennis Farina, I called him, and I just never forget his authoritative answer. I said, steakhouse appetizer. prosciutto and melon. Really loud. Prosciutto and melon. There's nothing else.
You love it when you love strong opinions.
Oh, but I love the word melon. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It's so fun. It's the opposite of tinkle.
He said it. He's making progress, doctor.
So
he said it.
You pressured me. I didn't have the salmon. We had I had red wine. You had I always forget. You have a bourbon or a whiskey, or they're close. What do you have?
Yeah, I had bourbon on the rocks. Correct.
Okay. So we get over there, and I wanted to sit down and watch a little warm up and just see. I was supposed to meet Jim Peterson and Michael Grady, the new play-by-play man, but they put them up a number of rows. Sometimes they're courtside. So Jim texted me and said, I can't meet you, maybe at halftime.
Right.
So I pointed out the lounge to you. I said, there's the lounge. I can't remember what it's called. And you said, I don't care about it. Let's go to the seats. I go, okay, they got food and alcohol in there, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So then in the third quarter, you say, hey, I think I'm going to go check out the lounge. And I'm like, great, because I want you to have the full experience and I don't want to go. So you go on your own like a big boy.
Yeah.
And you go there and you're there a little while and then you come back and I get an update. Do you remember what the update was from you or not? It made me laugh.
Was it about me having a cookie by myself?
Yes. This is what it was. I had a cookie. Yep. I don't have a sweet tooth. So I just think it's funny. And then I said, because I've been in there and I've had drinks and I've never sat down in the lounge. I stand and have a drink and I go back to my seat. And I said, did you sit down with your cookie? And you said, you said, yeah, I sat down by myself and ate my cookie. So I just thought it was so funny.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And so what's that?
Hollywood lifestyle.
Yeah.
That Hollywood lifestyle.
So was my joke on Instagram okay when I said he was happy because he went to the lounge and got his cookie?
I loved it. You saw I reposted it.
I didn't know if I was I was making fun of you too much.
No, I love it.
My God. So anyway, did you see me? Where were you at halftime when I was taking pictures with A-Rod? Were you there?
No, that must have been, that was when I went to get a cookie.
Cookie time?
Cookie time. I missed it. I missed him.
Here's another question I wrote down.
Yeah.
Does your wife know you took a number of pictures of the Laker girls from artistic angles from your seat? They were low angles shots of the Laker girls. Is that something you'll share with your
That's what I'm doing. By the way, first of all, if she ever hears that's a total lie. Goddamn liars. But let me say something that's going to be controversial that you don't have to agree or disagree with.
Okay.
So when I used to go to Lakers and Clippers games, years ago, you'd see the people walking around courtside, a lot of attractive women just, parading around, like peacocking. And the Laker and Clipper girls, very attractive. Yep. Stunning, breathtaking. It doesn't feel that way anymore. And maybe it's these old eyes, these tired eyes. Maybe I'm seeing, people who are like 20 as just kids and it's all gross. But I have another theory, which is going to be wildly less popular. I don't think the hottest women in this country come to LA anymore.
Whoa.
I think they used to because they had to get famous. Now you can get famous in your basement, shaking your body on TikTok, and people get just as much attention as they would if they came out to LA, maybe more. Their dreams don't have to, it's not busload after busload of the hottest women from Iowa, Nebraska coming out here because they're just staying in their basement and having hundreds of thousands of followers on TikTok.
That is a fascinating concept idea. You've spent a lot of time thinking about it.
Just occurred to me at the game.
This is my comment. First of all, you went to an angle there, which I would never have anticipated, which is they don't have to come out here anymore. Because the old joke is, hey, there's a busload of new beautiful women every weekend trying to be famous in LA.
Yeah.
We were sitting in the court side. If we were sitting back a little bit, we would have seen more people walking. Now, but you're right. It used to be, and I used to really, this is what bothered me. When I moved to LA in the late 80s, I had been indifferent to the Lakers. When I was in the 70s, I liked Wilt Chamberlain and Jerry West and Elgin Baylor. I liked the Lakers. I liked the Knicks, but I didn't have strong feelings. I was more of a Knicks fan. My dad was a Knicks fan. I liked Walt Frazier. In the 70s, I was a Dr. J fan, so it was mostly the Celtics versus the Lakers, and I didn't really have strong opinion about that. Then I moved to the LA in like 87, and it's like, oh my God, and I said to myself, these fans are obnoxious. They think it's their God-given right every year. They're supposed to be in the finals.
Yeah.
But I said if I had moved to Boston, I might have a problem with the Celtics. You know what I'm saying? The Celtics fans.
Yep.
But my criticism was this for the Lakers in the 80s. And it was the Showtime Lakers. Yeah. And a friend of mine named Lon Rosen, who's Magic's manager, he's friends with Rob Lowe. And he told me Rob Lowe and Lon in the 80s thought the Forum Club, which was the VIP club back then at the Forum in Inglewood, was the epicenter of the world.
Wow.
They thought it was there. But
I bet it was in a way.
Yes. And I said, I believe in the 80s, what bothered me about Laker fans, we're entitled. We're always, we're the best team. And I'm not going to wear my best outfit until the finals. It's a social event. This is the first round. I'm going to save my best outfit for the finals.
Right.
And it was more of a parade of beautiful people. I think you might have something there, but we didn't see everybody because we were. No.
And this theory is going to need like a 10-year case study going forward, but I think it started.
Right.
Yeah.
And I will say, you ever been to an LA Kings game?
I have not.
I went to a playoff game a number of years ago, and I was surprised at the beautiful women that were there. It was like, oh wow, it's like this is comparable to the Lakers, but a whole different type of woman. And I don't know
the Janet Jones effect.
Yeah,
yeah.
So we don't have to continue with this. I think we've hammered this enough. So let's talk about the post game.
Yeah,
which I thought might be the biggest challenge. So I got dropped off. You took an Uber. It was probably very easy to get an Uber where you're coming from.
Yeah.
But going back, it's a madhouse outside of the arena. So how did we get an Uber?
Yeah, well, we had to put some work in on our own. I think we kind of wandered aimlessly towards what we thought might be the best place to order one. And it became clear fairly quickly that we were not necessarily headed in the right direction. So we just kind of stopped in like a dead zone where there wasn't any traffic. So clearly cars weren't allowed through there and there weren't very many people. But
let me say that you were doing the work. You were getting the Uber.
Yeah.
I was still in the afterglow of the Timberwolves win.
Yes.
We had ordered drinks courtside and I had a little happiness going on. I don't use the word buzz anymore. But I also had to comment on the Instagram on Timberwolves. I always have to comment and say something about the win.
Yeah, you were hard at work.
And then I got a text. And it was from the PR lady at the Timberwolves, Sarah. And she said, hey, if you're still in the arena, I'll get your credentials. Come by the locker room. Say hi to the fellas and the coaching staff. And you were like, go, man. And you were going to get home and you said, you go though.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm not going to. I'm tired. I don't want to talk to them when I had a little vodka.
A little happiness.
I had some happiness going on.
Yeah.
And I wanted to chill out.
Yeah. Well, and you didn't even tell the little backstory on your last vodka, which is that they brought us, we ordered drinks like sometime in the third quarter. And they brought us the wrong drink. Basically, they combined our drinks. So it was disgusting. They put olives and bourbon. And it was just like, no, you've messed this up. So they quickly,
remedied
wanted to make up for it. And they brought you, I have not seen since like a college frat party, a vodka drink so full. It was double. It was a double. More.
Yeah. It was a triple.
Yeah. No, but to your credit, you did not finish it.
I didn't even come close. I didn't try to be a hero that time. I was letting Mike Conley hit the winning shot and be the hero.
Oh, the governor. He was good. He was clutch.
There's something else. Okay, remind me to come back to a couple of the players, but I want to finish this. So I eschewed going back to the locker room.
Yeah.
And we found our beautiful SUV Uber.
Yep. It was in the middle of traffic on Chickern Way.
Yeah. And we were agile as we glided over there.
We did.
I think I hopped over a little mini And
yeah.
but I'm going to say something. I want to talk about what happened in the vehicle. And for me, it was my victory cigar. There was no stress now. The Wolves have won. The Wolves have beaten the Lakers.
Yep.
I got some happiness going on.
So
what did I say to that guy, the driver?
You said turn up the music, and he said you can plug in your own, and you did.
Okay. I didn't know what I said. I thought I said, I want to play my music. Can I play my music? But I don't know what I said.
No,
but he said,
yeah.
I know. I did a joke about a Barry Manilow CD. I go, do you have a Barry Manilow CD? I wanted to make you laugh. It was a callback from a conversation we had earlier. And then he says, you can play your own music. Okay. So now, Alec, I'm in heaven. I'm in full control. I'm in control of what you're hearing.
And you loved it. You loved it. By the way, I love this side of you because you have such a childlike excitement for those kinds of things. And
that's what my brother says.
What's
boyish enthusiasm.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. That's exactly right. And so you just absolutely slayed DJing. You were playing great songs, and you did that thing that you do where the song will never get to the conclusion. It's like halfway through, you're going to switch.
We're in the mix. Now, did that bother you? Because that can bother some people. Did that bother you?
No, actually, no, because I'm with you. It's like, yeah, I get it. This song was great. But we heard it.
It's more satisfying if you hear 4 different versions, 30-second versions of Running Up That Hill, which was one of the songs I played. So I had all these different people covering Kate Bush's Running Up That Hill.
Whoop, whoop.
Do you know the other 2 songs I played? Do you remember?
Okay, hold on.
Because I played a lot
Up That Hill.
Right.
And then you played King of Wishful Thinking.
No.
No, I'm just kidding.
I like playing covers, but I played Hall & Oates covering the Spinners' I'll Be Around.
Oh, right.
That was good.
Yep.
And then I played one, and you said, I played 2 more. The one I played its entirety. What song did I play in its entirety? I mean, it was just leaving it all on the floor.
Oh, Benny Mardona's
Into the Night. Benny Mardona's.
Yeah, she was.
So if I did that 16. With my brother, he would have taken a separate Uber. He would have said, "Pull over, I'm out," because he's sick.
He's had enough of you DJing.
He's sick of that song, and he thinks it's a trash song or too immature or cheesy. It's all those things, but it's dynamic.
Cheesy for sure, but it's great.
Yeah,
it's excellent.
And then I played Bowie. This is not America.
Yeah, I love that one.
And you said that was your favorite choice.
Yeah, well, and it really suited the drive somehow.
Yeah,
it was a good selection for that moment. And then when you got out, and then we still had to go to my stop. You got out, the music just went off. It was silent the whole rest of the way.
I know, and I said you got a challenge to beat that. And you go, and we're not doing it. Was the guy bummed that there was no more music? Did he have a comment, or did you?
No, quite the opposite. No, I'm kidding. We didn't say anything about it.
Oh,
yeah, it was. Oh, what a night! Now let's get to the game itself.
Right. So you don't follow the Wolves, which is fine. So Anthony Edwards.
Sure.
He had a solid game.
Not impressed.
They won the next night in Sacramento. He scored 27. He had 2 big shots in the last minute. Drive and a jumper.
Yeah.
But what are your impressions of Anthony Edwards? You really couldn't tell, because I told you some believe he may be a top 10 player one day, and you didn't see it that night.
You're phrasing it so differently now.
Okay, what did I say?
You said some say he's a top 10 player.
No, I said it the wrong way. The coaching staff and others have said he might become a top 10 player.
I mean, yeah. Maybe
he was in the All-Star game.
He was, but right now I don't think he's in. He's probably in the top 20 right now.
Okay, that's fine. He'll take that.
Hovering around 18.
Yeah, might be 15 right now. Who knows? So you didn't know who Slow-Mo was?
And
Kyle Anderson,
infuriating player. The first 5 times I watched him, quote unquote, drive to the basket, I was just like, this guy has no plan and he's terrified to shoot. But then weirdly, as the game went on, this method of his became somehow effective.
Hypnotic.
And so in the second half, him doing these slow drives that were just kind of like he had no moves, and like somehow it worked. And it started working. And we got to talk for a minute about Austin Reeves, because so Austin Reeves is this white guy on the Lakers who comes off the bench and he's a spark plug, you know, and surprise, surprise, for a white guy, the crowd loves him. So, you know, when he comes in, you know, there's a big ovation from the LA crowd, and even the people next to us were like, you know, when he comes in, some good stuff happens. This guy, I'm sure he dominated in college. He drives into the lane with no plan. He's not beating anyone with any of his steps. He goes into the air with no plan.
You're so then
he's
a crafty player.
I looked him up for this night. He was 2 for 9.
Yeah, he had a rough game.
He would go into the lane with no plan and either try and hit a tough runner or just try at the last minute to have a bailout pass. And somehow he's like revered as, he's great. You know who was awesome off the bench? Jamal Crawford. You know, Lou Williams. Like, these are guys who would come off the bench and you're like, okay, this guy might drop 30 tonight.
Right. Well, Austin Reeves was going against a tenacious Wolves defense. So that threw him off, but he is good. No, he is a good passer. He's a good shooter. He's actually a good defender. He's a solid pro, and he had a good game yesterday. As we're recording this on Sunday, they beat the Warriors at home, and he was very good off the bench. And Jeff Van Gundy disagrees with you. He said, this guy's good.
Well, it's shocker.
Okay. I'm trying to think, I think I'm wrapping it with the game. Do you have any other, let's see, is there anything else?
Gobert was impressive.
Who, say again?
Gobert was impressive.
He played well. He played well. And by the way, when it was cookie time is when he was really scoring. He was scoring. You missed a lot of what he did. I'll send you the highlights. But
you know, I was watching the TV.
That's right. That's right. They have a
TV.
What am I talking about? They have a monitor, multiple monitors in there. You probably made him switch to some Celtic post-game show.
Yeah.
All right. So that was fun. I enjoyed that. I don't like going to games. I like watching in my mahogany paneled den, but if it's courtside, and then you can take somebody who gets a kick out of it.
Oh, I did. Thank you again. That was awesome. Awesome. What a great gift. Great gift. Really enjoyed it. And you're very fun to watch basketball with in particular, because you know a lot about the game, and also you find the sort of funny things and all the different players. And I think even the people that you're very gung-ho about, there's sort of a tongue-in-cheek, like the fact that you're like, oh, slow-mo. It's like, you know, he stinks.
No, he's good. I'm telling you, he's actually, no, you don't know. He's very, you don't know. The coach loves him.
You can't even get through it without laughing.
No, he moves at his own speed, but he's very smart, high IQ. He's a good defender. He's having his best year. I'm so grateful that we have him, but I know you don't want to see that side of me where I love him. You want the flash. You want Lou Williams. You want Jamal Crawford yo-yoing between his legs. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. It's now time for the Life Gorgeous quiz for Alec Sulkin. These are simple questions, profound insights.
Simple. It says you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite LA restaurant? I don't know if I've ever asked you that. Do you have a favorite LA restaurant? Oh, now I've been there and it is very good, but why do you say that?
And I would never go so far as to say like it is the best food in LA, hands down. The food is great, by the way, but I love, it's like, it feels like it's for older people.
Right.
And it's always filled with kind of older LA people. It's very nice inside. It's not mahogany paneled, but it's a wood paneled room.
Yeah.
They always have great drinks. It's a steak specialty place. I've just been going there for years and years and years. And for dessert, butterscotch pudding.
Oh, for those of you who didn't hear what he said, it's called Jar, Jar, Jar.
Yep. Right there in Beverly.
They have men's room for tinkling. I'm sorry. I can't stand that word, but I like the vibe inside. I mean, I don't go as often as you do.
Yeah.
The location used to be a different restaurant. I think Indochine. There's one in New York and there's one in LA. It was
You're
there.
right. You're
But
right.
now the interior is completely different. And if I remember correctly, I love the lighting in restaurants, and it's dimly lit, great bar up front right when you walk in.
Yep, exactly.
I think it's carpeted. I think it's
you're
one of
right.
those tight carpets
You are right.
you'd see in a nice hotel room or a hotel bar, some of those. And it's a different kind of vibe. It's a very sophisticated vibe. Would you say mid-century inside or not? Or something?
Totally.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good place. But you like it more than Musso and Frank and all that kind of stuff?
Well, I mean, like I like Dantana's. I think of that kind of restaurant. That I think Dantana's is my favorite, like sort of LA staple restaurant. But I think, Jar for me is just Dantana's. You feel like it's even in kind of a crowded, weird area because you're right next to the Troubadour there, and there's always some kind of sketchy youths.
Right.
Yeah.
And we don't really care for the young people anymore. I try to help them. But did I ever tell you, I think I told you when I was a young person, I had a problem with young people. I knew they were insecure and too introspective. And okay.
Yeah, never look inwards.
Next question. What'd you just say?
I said never look inwards. Don't be introspective.
Yeah, keep it light.
Oh, the unexamined life with Craig Kilborn.
Exhaling and enjoying, just gliding and coasting. So I've talked to different people about this. I know this is a music question.
Oh, good.
I don't know if we've ever discussed this. So our friend Mike Gibbons used to tell me a joke about this guy. And I'll tell you in a second, but first, I'm going to tell you the guy. Tell me your thoughts. You're a music guy. For the listeners, Alec is extremely good with music trivia. Even decades before him, he somehow knows songs.
You're setting me up for failure here.
No. What are your thoughts on Bruce Springsteen?
Oh boy. Okay.
I like this already.
I mock people who love Bruce Springsteen to the point of weeping at their concerts. I think it's ridiculous. It's like he's like anyone else that I like. I like John Cougar Mellencamp or like Bob Seger.
Right.
Like they have like half a dozen songs that I said, those are great. Right. But I don't know all of his songs because I've just never really cared to listen. I listened to the ones that have sort of broken through, and every other time I don't care that he does like a 3.5 hour concert. That sounds exhausting to me. I want to be home before then. Right.
He's supposed to put on a 3-hour concert. That's impressive because he's an endurance guy.
Yeah.
I used to say I was never really into him, but I would say to people, because there was a song, like I always like to choose a song that's not like what's his big song? Baby We're Born to Run. I like to choose songs that are not quite as popular. And there was this one song, but they do say it's pretty popular, called Prove It All Night. I always liked that song,
Yeah, that's a good one.
So this is what Gibby says about him. I think we're all in the same boat here. We kind of mock him a little bit, or the fans.
Yeah.
But Gibby was like, every song of his every song that he writes is about, I got to get out of this town.
Yeah.
I got a car. There's a road.
Yeah. Yep.
Road, car, got to get out of this town.
Yes, that's very funny. He's right.
Yeah.
He's got to cross Highway 9.
Yeah. But anyways, you didn't let me down. We've talked music a lot.
Yeah.
We might as well tell America what your favorite song is. Life in a Northern Town by Dream Academy.
Oh, well, it's a great one. It's not my favorite, but that's like the Ant-Man of my songs. Like that might be like hovering around 18.
Right. Okay. Next question.
Yeah.
Chocolate shake or vanilla shake?
Well, it's so funny. I just went through this. Last week. And
who says we're not being introspective and examining ourselves? These questions.
You can't say tinkle because of mommy, but we get the shakes. Okay. The answer is vanilla.
Absolutely. I can't wait to hear the reasoning. I agree 100%.
Chocolate shakes have the tendency to if they're not made of the absolute finest products, they have the tendency to taste like a chocolate gelatin. Whereas vanilla shakes somehow evade that texture issue.
Right.
I think that possibly what they're making the vanilla with is a slightly higher quality product. But I just also think that the chocolate shakes are sweet. We know this going in. They're very sweet. The vanilla shake cuts it a little. Like, whereas the chocolate shake is sweetness overload. And
it's too strong of a flavor. Chocolate dominates. It's too strong. Vanilla is nuanced.
Yes.
Like my life. Vanilla is my life. And you don't know this about me, but when I was in high school in practice once, I broke a backboard. I shattered a backboard dunking, because sometimes if you hit it just right on the rim, the thing will just shatter.
Wow.
And this was during Daryl Dawkins, who did that with the Sixers, and they called him Chocolate Thunder. So, what do you think the kids nicknamed me? Vanilla Thunder. I was Vanilla Thunder for a while in high school.
That's awesome.
But I agree with you. I just love vanilla. I love it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And you take a little sniff when you're baking those chocolate chip cookies of that vanilla extract. Oh,
hey, what kind of cookie did you have for cookie time?
Chocolate chip. Okay. Chocolate chip. Yeah.
I like oatmeal. I like oatmeal cookies.
No, I go chalk.
Okay. Okay. Next question. Another music question.
Oh, good.
I've done this with. I just don't know if this has happened to you, but I also brought this up with Gibby because he's kind of well versed in it. But my friend Hank in New York is opinionated about this. Have you ever gotten caught up? Have you ever got caught up in Lennon versus McCartney?
Oh, that's where I live.
Really?
Have I gotten caught up in it? Oh,
did you choose sides or not?
Well, I chose a begrudging side. My overall feeling is, who cares? Together they were the best ever.
Right.
And I don't consider it like a Jordan Pippen situation where one is clearly much better than the other. But I fall to McCartney. And I think that I bristle a little bit at people who blindly just say like, oh, I worship John Lennon and he's much deeper and this kind of stuff. And John Lennon himself fueled that fire because he used to complain that Paul's songs were on the A side and his songs were on the B side. And then you listen to Paul's songs and you think of yourself as a listener back then or a record executive. How the hell am I not going to put Hello Goodbye on the A side of, I Am the Walrus? Right. It's like Hello Goodbye is, you may say like, oh, well, that's so stupid. It's a fantastic pop song. And it's just one of, hundreds that he wrote that are perfectly constructed.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. So my friend Hank, he does this, and this is what Hank says. Yeah. He really has this is an issue he has. He says, I rank McCartney fourth.
Oh, God. No, it's ridiculous. Okay. I'm taking my headphones out. I can't hear you.
And then Gibby's like, that says more about Hank than it does about McCartney.
Yeah. Way more.
But it's a thing where he's, it's the angst guys, the unhappy guys, the mood swing guys. They want to go artsy with Lennon, but McCartney is so prolific in the songwriting and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I just want to tell you. People
say like, actually, you know what? Actually, my favorite film is Drugstore Cowboy. It's like, no, it isn't. Come on. It's The Godfather. Shut up.
I just want to tell you what, I don't know if I've ever told you this. So the first time I heard Hank do this rant, I was hanging out with him, and he was a mutual friend of ours who went to college with Hank, who kind of knows him. And he does this whole McCartney thing, just ripping McCartney and all this kind of stuff. And then he's finished and he goes, was that okay what I did? Was that okay? I said, yeah, it was very entertaining. Very entertaining. Anybody else bother you? He goes, yeah, McConaughey. I don't get McConaughey. Like, it's just, so he has issues. I don't know what it is, but I find it very entertaining.
He's stuck in that spot in the phone book too.
I know. That's exactly what, Okay, so the next question is the final Life Gorgeous quiz question.
Oh boy.
How many more times in your lifetime, Alec, will you get to sit courtside at a Laker game?
Oh, that's a depressing question because the answer might be 0.
Might be.
Yeah. No, I mean, as long as it happened once, I'm happy. That's the bucket list check
Yeah.
off. So anything that happens now is just gravy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We have a few fan questions that I'm going to answer. I want you to analyze my answers and also comment on the question. You can give an answer to the question. So we start off. Craig, love the life. Gorgeous. I noticed you never talk politics, which I appreciate, but why don't you? It's a good question. I was actually raised not to talk. What was the old saying? Don't talk religion and politics. So I was raised not to talk politics, and I'm kind of apolitical. I don't get on the partisan side. I'm independent. I care about the issues, and I can talk about them privately in my mahogany panel den with a friend or my brother, and I have no desire to do it. I'll let the rest of the world duke it out, I think is my answer today.
I love that answer. Let's reduce it down to that final soundbite, which is perfect. I'll let the rest of the world duke it out.
Yes.
Because I think that's really a great attitude. And honestly, I think that, people aren't listening to you to hear about that.
Right. I don't want to hear Conan talk politics. I don't want to hear Jerry Seinfeld or Bill Murray talk politics.
Right.
And I'm right there with those guys. The guys that I appreciate, I don't want to hear the comedians that I like. I don't want to hear them. But I guarantee you, if I sat down with Jerry Seinfeld off camera, I wouldn't get offended. He'd probably say very sensible things to me about politics, but he wouldn't talk about it. But if he did, I would not get offended.
No,
because he's not a zealot. He's not a political zealot.
Definitely not. Yes. Definitely not. No, that was a great answer. And,
thank you.
I have no answer myself, but
okay. Lord Kilby, any TV or streaming series you are currently watching, not movies, but series? Okay, that's a tough one because sometimes I do, and I currently do not. And what bothers me is I've had a few friends tell me, you got to see this. You got to see this. And I sometimes I write them down and sometimes I don't. But, the ones I have watched are Bosch and Bosch Legacy. That's a Titus Welliver. I did watch a little Succession a few years ago, but I don't now. I might go back to it. I haven't even finished The Sopranos. I'm still in season 5.
Ooh.
So I tend to watch more movies than I do series. So that's my answer. I'm curious because you work a lot, but you also get to watch television. Am I missing something with the series?
Well, it's interesting. I watch so many things and they just kind of come and go. And Succession is definitely one that's sort of stuck with me where I feel like that's probably the best drama series that's still being made. Mm-hmm. I watched a show on Apple Plus called Blackbird, written by Dennis Lehane, starring that Taron Egerton who played Elton John.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in season 1 of that. I'm almost done with it, and I'm really enjoying that. It's very simple and straightforward. It's a prison drama. It's really good. But yeah, things come and go, and I love documentaries, like 3-part documentary series on some scandal, and I'm in.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So that's kind of what I've been into.
Did you ever watch Billions?
I did. I watched the first 2 or a little more seasons of that, and I loved it, and then totally fell off. Maybe because of the pandemic, I don't remember, but I just stopped watching it and kind of stopped caring.
I watched I think the first 2 seasons, and I was entertained. I also got a kick out of the writing.
Yeah.
And because they had some good lines in there. Jake, it's Chinatown. They would take lines from movies and stuff. And there was also there had to be some NBA fan, maybe someone told me the showrunner was, but I'm like Dominique, man. I'm like Dominique on the break. Like, they had these, they referenced Allen Iverson once and Dominique Wilkins. It was hilarious.
Oh, the human highlight film.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I stuck around for that. They had that sort of gender fluid character who was awesome. I remember.
Right. I saw that. Yeah.
And she was
that person.
really interesting. And then somehow season 2 ended and it was like, I never watched it again. I don't know why.
Next question. Craigers, I'm trying to lead the life gorgeous, but I don't feel like I'm up to it. I'm bald and out of shape for starters.
I think I know who wrote this.
Any advice? First of all, I always try to encourage people to get in shape. I actually do intermittent fasting where I skip breakfast. I eat at 10 a.m., then stop, 10 to 6, eat dinner before 6. And it works. I also walk a lot. Walking is very easy. It's not treadmill, which is boring. You put on the AirPods and walk and listen to Benny Mardones. You can go miles and miles.
Yeah.
And I just think exercise is important. There are some very cool looking bald guys. I think you should probably shave your head all the way. That's what guys do who are bald. It looks kind of dynamic. I love Alec likes the word dynamic. It's an effective word. It makes your hair, makes you look electric. But yeah, try to have a positive attitude. Living the life gorgeous is basically being positive. It's mental, but I do encourage you to get in shape and stay healthy. That's my answer. Go ahead, Alec.
Loved your answer. I think my takeaway from that question is that the guy's not wrong, but here's what it is. It's like you can live your life gorgeous, but your life gorgeous has a ceiling.
I was going to say it's a different version, but you're saying it's a ceiling.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the life. It's the life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Life, yeah.
It's the life pretty easy on the eyes. Meh.
Love the pod, Lord Kilby. Do you still watch late night?
No.
No.
I'll answer that for you, no.
I lost interest a long time ago.
But do you watch Bill Maher?
Yeah, I don't consider that traditional late night.
Yeah.
But I do watch Bill Maher, and let me tell you why, and then I'll tell you why I don't watch traditional late night. So people say Bill Maher is rude and prickly and profane. Yeah, okay. But at least he has the guts to sit 2 feet away from people with different opinions. Because I worked with some political zealots who couldn't hear those other voices at all. So I admire that Bill Maher will talk to people that it's very tricky. It's very heated, politics, but he's able to do that. So I admire that. And I do think he has interesting guests on. I'll give you a couple names. There's a guy named, I wish I remembered his first name. Gopnik. He's a writer. He's a bright guy. I don't think it's Anthony Gopnik, but anyways, he has, I'm actually Barry Weiss. I liked her. And then there's this, I'm forgetting all the names of the people that I like. Hey, you know who's on there is the son of, as I forget every name possible. The guy who wrote Blazing Saddles. I mean,
Brooks.
Yeah, Mel Brooks' son is on there.
And is he 70?
No, his son. No, but that is so funny. There's this woman. I wish I remembered her name. I used to.
Yeah.
I can't. That's what happens when you do intermittent fasting. You can't remember.
No, it was that courtside vodka.
So the traditional late night, the interviews, I've seen them before, and the comedy sometimes is more filling the hour.
Yeah.
So do you watch it or not?
Love that answer. No, don't watch it. I used to watch religiously, back in the Dave days, as we all did, I think, but totally lost interest. And don't care about them anymore, and will watch Saturday Night Live occasionally.
Right.
Yeah. It's
fun to watch movies and dramas. And,
I agree.
And just see these guys dominate these actors.
I can watch The Verdict at any time.
Oh, that is such a. Oh my gosh. So let's see what else. A fan from Boston, Craig, will my New England Patriots ever win another Super Bowl? And do we even have to? Well, I don't know if you're talking about in your lifetime. The odds are against them winning in the next 15 years. The odds are against that. I could even say 20 years. It's very difficult to win a Super Bowl. So I'm going to say in your lifetime, I'm going to say if you live 30 more years, they might win one more. Go ahead, Alec. I know you're a Patriots fan.
Yeah, I am. And by the way, headline, difficult to win Super Bowl, says Vikings fan.
Woo! There it is.
Yeah, sorry, I had to point that out.
You know what I used to say? The coach, they were in 4 Super Bowls. Harry Bud Grant, the coach of the Vikings in the 70s.
Yeah,
if he would have done his version of Spygate, they would have won 3 Super Bowls.
Return of fire. Return of fire. I think the Patriots will be relevant again. Winning a Super Bowl is tough.
Right.
I think they're going to be in the playoff mix. I think they've put a blueprint on their organization, much like San Francisco and Dallas, where they're going to now be in the playoffs all the time. And as we know, if you get in the playoffs, who the hell knows what happens? Like, you could get on a 3-game run and just win it all.
You mean you like Eli Manning and the Giants?
Hey, that's who I was thinking of. Garbage team making the playoffs and win it all.
Mr. Kilborn, longtime fan, is political correctness killing comedy? Not my comedy. No, I'm going to say no because there's so much fun stuff out there. So I'm going to say no. Certainly not my comedy because I don't do anything that's profane or offensive unless you think being incredibly self-absorbed is offensive.
It's a great answer.
So I am curious to see what you think because you have written on Family Guy for a long time.
Yeah. Well, it's first of all, great answer. I think with Family Guy, we've sort of lucked out into being in this zone where people are not looking to cancel us or get in our face about things we say because they feel like that's what they expect from the show. Like it's going to keep happening. But somehow that grace, I think that has a lot to do with them being cartoon characters also. So there's this extra level of this is silly, don't get offended. But I think it is killing comedy in the way that someone you were talking about earlier, Jerry Seinfeld, refuses to go on college tours anymore to do stand-up because of the way that, the quote unquote woke culture or cancel culture. So they're depriving themselves of, one of, if not the greatest comedian of all time, because they're a little offended about some of the things that he says. And I think that's just a horrible loss. But there are comedians who live in that zone, like Bill Burr. People expect him to be outrageous and offensive, and he gets away with it.
He gets away with it. Does he perform in colleges or not?
That I don't know. Actually, I don't know. He might not either.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I think I'm in agreement with you. Political correctness goes too far, but I've thought that for years. Yeah. I also believe in something old-fashioned. It's called forgiveness. I believe in forgiveness.
Yeah.
Okay, one final question. Hey, Kilby, I know you love Grace Kelly, but do you have a favorite modern-day actress? I think there's one that jumps out, and I think I've only seen her twice, but she blew me out of the water. I saw her in a movie. What's that?
Cate Blanchett.
Did I already tell you that or not?
No, I'm just guessing.
That's who it is.
Yeah, because I agree with you.
I saw her in Blue Jasmine and Aviator. She played Katharine Hepburn in Aviator. She's amazing, right?
She's amazing, and I just watched that movie Tar that she's in now that she's nominated for, and she's fantastic. Meryl Streep, she doesn't quite count as modern, but she is, I think, the best actress of all time. But Cate Blanchett is still coming for the throne because she's amazing.
Did you see Blue Jasmine?
Unbelievable. Well, I mean, first of all, it was he admitted that it was just Streetcar, which it was. It was Streetcar Named Desire. But her take on it, as great as was Vivian Leigh was in the movie. Was it Vivian Leigh? Oh. I believe so.
Was it? Okay.
As great as she was, I think Cate Blanchett brought the crazy to a new hyper-realistic level.
Yeah, I was blown away with her in Vivian Leigh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Marlon Brando, Kim Hunter,
and
Carl Malden. Yeah. I don't know. She's powerful. She has a strong look, and I just thought she dominated in Blue Jasmine. And even Even stole scenes from Dice Clay in that movie. So anyway.
No, but you want to see her dominate. She drops 50 in Tar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, did you ever see the movie on a side note? You ever heard of there's a movie, you haven't seen the movie, it's an older movie, but there's a series called Mildred Pierce. Did you ever see that?
Yep, I did.
Yeah.
I sure did.
Who was that?
Kate Winslet?
That was Kate Winslet, yeah.
Yeah, about the pie maker.
Yeah, and Guy Pearce was in it. It was great.
Yep, that was a good one.
Okay, buddy. That's we're going to see you again. I thank you for doing the show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Alec. I want to thank you before I say goodbye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the Lakers tickets, and thanks for having me back.
That's our show. And remember, young people, I'll see you next time. And I am proud of you.